Welcome to Business Book Daily. Today I'm breaking down Accelerate by Nicole Forsgren, Jez Humble, and Jean Kim, a research-based book about how technology organizations can deliver software faster, improve reliability, and create stronger business results. I'll cover the big idea, the practical lesson, and 3 sharp insights you can use right away. Let's get into it. But first, a word from our sponsor. Want to sell more without adding fixed payroll? A lot of smart operators hire commission-only reps, experienced sellers who get paid only when they produce results. If that sounds like a smarter way to scale, post your opportunity at commissiononly.com. Thousands of motivated reps are actively looking for performance-based roles right now. Commissiononly.com. Today's book is Accelerate. Nicole Forsgren is a technology researcher known for measuring software delivery performance. Jez Humble is a software delivery expert and co-author of Continuous Delivery. And Jean Kim is an author and researcher focused on DevOps and high-performing technology organizations. The central idea is that software delivery performance can be measured and improved. High-performing technology teams don't have to choose between moving quickly and keeping systems reliable. The strongest organizations learn to do both. The challenge is a common belief. Many leaders assume faster delivery creates more mistakes. They believe teams must choose between speed and safety. The research presented in Accelerate shows that strong technical practices can improve both at the same time. Small changes are easier to understand. Test, review, release, and repair. Automation reduces manual errors. Fast feedback helps teams find problems earlier. Clear ownership reduces delays and confusion. Healthy culture makes it easier for people to report risk before those risks become expensive failures. The result is a system that can move faster because it has become safer and easier to manage. This matters beyond the technology department. Modern businesses depend on software to sell products, serve customers, manage operations, process payments, communicate with employees, and launch new services. When software delivery is slow, business strategy is slow. A company may identify a customer need but take months to release the improvement. It may approve a new service but spend weeks waiting for technology work to move through testing, security review, and deployment. May experience an outage and lose revenue while teams struggle to understand what went wrong. Improving software delivery helps the entire business respond faster, learn sooner, and recover more effectively. One of the book's most useful contributions is a set of 4 performance metrics. The first is deployment frequency. This measures how often a team successfully releases changes to users. A high deployment frequency usually means the organization can deliver smaller improvements more often instead of collecting months of work into one large release. Second metric is lead time for changes. This measures how long it takes for a change to move from development into production. A long lead time may show that work is waiting for reviews, approvals, testing, or support from another team. The third metric is change failure rate. This measures how often a release creates a problem that requires a fix, rollback, or other corrective action. The fourth metric is time to restore service. This measures how quickly the team recovers after something goes wrong. Together, these 4 metrics show both speed and stability. Deployment frequency and lead time show how quickly value reaches customers. Change failure rate and time to restore service show how safely and reliably the system operates. The purpose isn't to rank individual developers. Software delivery is a team and organizational system. A long delay may be caused by an approval process, outdated architecture, unreliable testing, or a dependency on another department. Punishing one employee won't repair those conditions. In fact, using the metrics to evaluate individuals can make performance worse. People may avoid difficult work, hide failures, or manipulate the numbers. The metrics should help leaders improve the system through which work moves. Another major lesson is that speed and stability can improve together. Large releases often feel efficient because they combine many changes into one event. They also create more risk. Large release contains more assumptions, dependencies, and possible sources of failure. When something breaks, the team may struggle to identify which change caused the problem. Smaller releases reduce that risk. Each change is easier to test and understand. When a problem appears, fewer things have changed, so the cause is easier to find. A failed change is also easier to reverse. This is why frequent delivery can become safer than occasional delivery. The team practices releasing more often. The process becomes routine. Problems appear sooner. Recovery becomes easier. Continuous delivery supports this approach. Continuous delivery means keeping software in a condition where it can be released safely and quickly. Teams use version control, automated tests, repeatable deployment processes, and frequent integration to reduce surprises. The goal isn't to release every change immediately. The goal is to make releasing a business decision rather than a technical emergency. A company may choose when to make a feature available. It shouldn't require weeks of preparation every time it wants to do so. When releases are rare and difficult, they become stressful events. Teams work late, managers add more approvals. People avoid changes because they fear causing an outage. That makes each future release even larger and riskier. Continuous delivery breaks that cycle by making the process smaller, more frequent, and more predictable. Architecture and team design also affect performance. A team may have talented people and excellent tools but remain slow because it depends on several other groups to complete a small change. One department writes the code, another runs the tests, another reviews security, another controls deployment, another monitors production. Every handoff creates waiting, communication risk, and unclear responsibility. Teams move faster when they own a product or service from development through operation. That doesn't mean they ignore security, privacy, or quality standards. It means they have enough skill, authority, and information to meet those standards without sending every decision through a long chain. Technology architecture matters for the same reason. When systems are tightly connected, a small change in one place may require changes across several other systems and teams. Loosely coupled systems allow teams to make, test, and release changes more independently. This reduces coordination costs and makes ownership clearer. The book also emphasizes culture. Technology practices alone aren't enough. An organization can buy new tools and remain slow if employees fear blame. Information is hidden, and every decision requires permission. Strong organizations make it easier for people to share bad news, ask for help, and examine failure honestly. When employees fear punishment, they hide uncertainty. They delay reporting risks. They make problems look smaller than they are. By the time leaders discover the truth, the cost is much higher. A learning culture responds differently. When something goes wrong, the team studies the conditions that allowed it to happen. What warning signs were missed? What part of the process made the failure possible? Which safeguard didn't work? How can the system be improved? This doesn't mean accountability disappears. Reckless behavior or repeated refusal to follow standards still requires action. Most technology failures involve several design, communication, and process weaknesses. Blaming one person may feel decisive while leaving those weaknesses untouched. So how do you apply these ideas? Start by measuring the 4 delivery metrics for each major product or service. Track deployment frequency, lead time, change failure rate, and time to restore service. Use those numbers to understand how work moves through the organization. Create a baseline before setting ambitious targets. A team that releases once every 2 months shouldn't immediately compare itself with a company that deploys several times a day. Identify the largest current delay or source of instability. Improve from there, reduce the size of each change. Break large projects into smaller pieces that can be tested and delivered independently. Smaller changes give the business faster information about what customers want and whether the solution works. Automate repetitive testing, security checks, deployments, and monitoring where practical. Automation isn't valuable simply because it removes human work. It's valuable when it creates faster, more consistent feedback and reduces avoidable mistakes. Track where work waits. Change may require only a few hours of actual effort, but spend several weeks waiting for review, testing, approval, or another department. Reducing that waiting time may improve delivery more than asking employees to work faster. View each approval step. Keep controls that reduce meaningful legal, security, financial, or customer risk. Move approvals that exist only because the old process required them. Match the level of control to the actual risk of the change. Give teams clear ownership of a product or service. When the same team can build, test, release, monitor, and improve its work, fewer problems disappear between departments. Clear ownership also makes it easier to learn from customer behavior and operational failures. Reduce unnecessary dependencies. If a team needs support from several other groups to complete a small change, examine whether responsibilities or system design can be simplified. The goal isn't total independence. It's to remove coordination that doesn't create enough value to justify the delay. Invest in monitoring and recovery. Useful logs, alerts, performance data, rollback procedures, and tested backups help teams understand failures and restore service quickly. Don't wait for a major outage to discover that the recovery plan doesn't work. Practice before the crisis. Run incident reviews without turning them into blame sessions. Examine the system conditions, missed signals, and weak safeguards behind the failure. Then identify concrete changes that will reduce the chance or impact of the same problem happening again. Make bad news easy to share. Leaders should respond constructively when employees raise risks or admit mistakes. The goal is to surface problems while they're small and manageable. Hidden problems nearly always become more expensive. Build faster feedback into product decisions. Don't spend months developing features based only on internal opinions. Release smaller versions. Observe how customers respond and use that information to guide the next investment. Limit work in progress. Starting too many projects slows all of them. Finish a smaller number of valuable changes before filling the system with more work. Connect technology metrics to business outcomes. Faster deployments matter when they improve customer experience, revenue, quality, compliance, or operating efficiency. Make the purpose clear so technology teams understand the business result their work supports. Finally, treat software delivery as an organizational capability. It isn't only the responsibility of developers or operations teams. Leadership decisions about funding, team structure, incentives, approvals, risk, and culture shape how quickly technology can create value. Now, here are 3 insights worth sharing. First, speed and stability aren't opposites in software delivery. Small changes, automation, and fast feedback help teams improve both. Second, a few hours of work can spend weeks stuck in approvals and handoffs. Improving delivery often starts by reducing waiting, not adding effort. Third, a culture of blame hides critical information. Strong organizations make it safe to surface problems early and improve the system behind them. Today's closing sponsor is memoirghostwriting.com. Many of the best business books start as ideas leaders have been refining for years. Memoirghostwriting.com works with founders, executives, and industry experts to turn those ideas into polished business books that build authority, attract leads, and open doors. They handle everything from interviews to writing, to editing, to publishing. If there's a book in your head that should already be helping your business, learn more at memoirghostwriting.com. That's it for today. See you next time.